Hi, my name is Rita, and I am the founder of racisminamerica.org. I recently wrote an article titled Be Real. Asians are protesting because killer cop Peter Liang didn't benefit from white privilege. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with NYPD officer Peter Liang, he's a Chinese American officer who was convicted of manslaughter for unjustly murdering 28-year-old African-American Akai Gurley on November 20th of 2014. This situation took place in the stairwell of a Brooklyn project apartment. Apparently, the stairwell was very dark when Officer Liang and his partner Sean Lando entered. Officer Liang had his gun drawn, finger on the trigger. He heard a sound, shot, and the bullet ended up striking and killing Akai Gurley. Liang's fate was sealed after he failed to render any form of aid to Gurley as he lay dying on the ground. He didn't attempt CPR or even call in an ambulance in an attempt to preserve this man's life. Instead, he and his partner quarreled over who would call the shooting in because he was afraid of losing his job. The same job he ultimately lost, along with his freedom for his negligent decision. But now that he's been convicted, the Asian community is standing in herd, surprisingly, to protest in his defense, claiming that the justice system is using him as a scapegoat to, and I quote, satisfy a segment of his constituency with long-standing grievances about police mistreatment. Now, this is a quote that I'm reading from a New York Post article written by a Shirley Ng, Asian American woman. And Shirley suggests that Liang's conviction victimizes the Asian community. She also says that the conviction was wrong and should be struck down. It was a tragic accident for which this punishment doesn't fit the crime, which really wasn't a crime at all, only a horrible mishap. Now, black folks, I don't know about you, but this really pisses me off, to speak candidly. I mean, Shirley and her Asian comrades are really angered that Liang didn't benefit from white privilege. Let's just be honest about it. Because the way that I see it is, where has the Asian outrage been? Time after time, white police officers have avoided acquittals despite being captured on video shooting a black man in the back, stomping and beating a non-threatening person of color, and even planning and falsifying evidence to suggest that they were the victims. Collectively, Asians were sitting silently, preserving their believed favorability among whites. Now, I have to stress collectively because I know someone would challenge me with, oh, Asians have stood up. They've stood up by the dozens to speak out against black injustice, but not collectively the way that we've seen since Peter Liang has been convicted of manslaughter. Okay? Asians thought that being the model minority prevented them from getting caught in the clutches of systemic racism. Liang has exposed them to their reality and to the consequence of being a minority in this country. But what's so frustrating to me is that despite the fact that Asians have collectively remained silent during our recent struggle for equality, we continue to patronize their businesses. Our beautiful black women continue to buy their expensive weave, continue to get their nails done at their salons and eat at their restaurants. And for the Asians to show their appreciation to us for being their main consumer at a minimum, okay? They stand up for a scary killer cop who was complicit in the system that continued to prey on black lives. People, take a moment, read the article. I've posted the link below, or you can visit http://racisminamerica.org. The article is listed under In the News. Please read it. Inside, you will also find a link to Shirley's New York Peace post. Read that as well. Come back and let me know your thoughts. Because look, I'll be honest and say I really do believe the system is using Peter Liang as a scapegoat to say, hey, look, we do hold our officers accountable, just not the white ones. I do think that. But see, Asians, I feel like you should have stood up long before this Peter Liang situation, because now the only thing you've done is made yourself look more like a black enemy opposed to an ally. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.